In 400 BC, the geopolitical map of Europe looked like this. While the early Roman Republic was still a localized power in central Italy, the Tène Celts and Germanic tribes already controlled territories stretching from the Atlantic to the Black Sea. Greco-Roman writers later established a very specific narrative about these northern peoples, describing them as barbarians, a chaotic and primitive collection of tribes living in the shadows of the civilized world. But archaeology reveals a different reality. The mathematical precision found in Tène metalwork required advanced metallurgical skill. These groups had mastered the extraction and forging of iron centuries earlier, producing complex geometric art that relied on sophisticated tools and design. This organization extended to settlements. By the 2nd century BC, the landscape was dominated by Oppida, massive fortified Iron Age cities that functioned as central hubs for industry and government. Within these Oppida, archaeologists have found evidence of strict standardization, uniform building measurements, planned road networks, the mass production of iron hardware, and the use of minted coinage to facilitate trade. This was not a scattered collection of tribes, but a continent-spanning civilization. As Rome began its own aggressive expansion, these two powers were moving toward a direct collision. When Roman legions pushed north into the Latin heartland of Gaul, modern-day France, they achieved a total territorial conquest. By 50 BC, Julius Caesar had formally absorbed the region into the Roman state. But the conquest didn't result in the eradication of the Gauls. Instead, the local population and the Roman occupiers began to merge their societies. This fusion created a Gallo-Roman culture. Celtic deities were synchronized with the Roman pantheon, and the native Celtic language was replaced by Latin, which became the direct ancestor of modern French. The physical landscape changed as well. The old earthen Oppida were systematically replaced by traditional Roman infrastructure, like these stone baths and theaters, which served as the new centers of civic life. For Gaul, absolute geographical proximity to Rome meant total assimilation. While their independent Celtic identity faded, the resulting hybrid society established the legal and social foundations that would define the region for centuries. This map shows the physical limit of the empire. At the Rhine River, Roman expansion hit a hard stop against the Germanic tribes. These tribes were built around the comitatus, a social structure of mobile warrior retinues. Their society prioritized martial skill and raiding over the settled urban trade found in the Roman provinces. This proximity created a paradox. While Germanic groups fiercely defended their lands against the legions, they also hired themselves out to Rome as prized mercenaries. This service triggered a massive transfer of knowledge. Germanic warriors returned to their tribes, bringing back Roman infantry tactics, high-quality weaponry like the long-bladed spatha, and imperial wealth. Rome's failure to conquer Germania resulted in a violent symbiosis. The constant friction didn't destroy these tribes, it provided them with the Roman tactics and heavy armaments required to eventually challenge the empire on its own terms. Across the sea sat the Britannic Islands, or Ireland. While Roman generals surveyed the coast and considered an invasion, they ultimately abandoned the plan, deciding the territory wasn't worth the logistical cost. This isolation allowed Celtic Iron Age culture to evolve in a complete vacuum, entirely untouched by Roman civic or military influence. Instead of Roman law or currency, the Irish maintained Brehon law. In this system, there was no centralized coinage. Instead, wealth and social status were measured by the number of cattle a family owned. Politically, the island remained divided into hundreds of petty kingdoms. They ruled from traditional earthen and stone hill forts like this one, preserving a style of defensive architecture erased on the continent centuries earlier. By remaining beyond the reach of the legions, Ireland became a rare holdout where Iron Age Celtic culture continued to evolve without imperial interference. In the 400s AD, the Western Roman Empire finally collapsed under its own internal bureaucracy and military overreach. As the borders dissolved, the Germanic tribes, now a veteran military force, swept south to depose the final emperors and establish the medieval kingdoms of Europe. Simultaneously, the untouched Irish Celts took advantage of the continental chaos to expand, colonizing western Britain and founding the kingdom of Dalriada. Today's map of Europe still reflects these Iron Age collision points: the Latin foundations of France, the Germanic character of Central Europe, and the Celtic fringes of the West are the lasting results of how these societies once chose to assimilate, fight,